What's going on, everybody? Here to give you another repair tutorial for the Xbox 360 console. Today we're going to be showing you how to do a laser replacement for the Philips BenQ DVD disc drive. I did do another tutorial that was kind of generalized, but I kind of realized that there are enough differences, so I'll go ahead and do one for the BenQ as well. So let's get started here. I've already got the drive here. If you're not sure how to do that, as you can see, a link has popped up now, and you can click that link to figure out how to open up your Xbox 360 Fat console, and then after that you can come back to this tutorial. But otherwise, I'm going to just start for here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this outer case off first. All you got to do is you got to unscrew these 4 bottom screws here. Just like that. Alright, we're going to kind of pop it up. After that, make sure to take your screws. I always like to put them in some sort of little container with 4 sides. That makes sure that you won't lose them, because they do tend to roll away very easily. So you definitely need to do something like that. Alright, now for this one, you really aren't going to have to do anything from the bottom, so you won't have to remove the PCB board. So everything we'll do, let's disconnect. Everything it will do is going to actually be from the top. Alright, so let's set this case aside, the rest of it. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to get this disc tray to pop out. To do that, right here is a piece of black plastic, okay? And it's real simple. All you got to do is just take something and push it in like that. And as you can see, it kind of pushes it out some, and that way you can take it out the rest of the way. You can take this out if you want, and you do that by, there's a little tab right here. You actually can pull this tab. If I can get it pulled out. I don't have many fingernails right now. Kind of pull that tab out. Did that a little bit rough, but what you do is you pull the tab up, and then that will release it so you can pull it out. And when I'll go ahead and show you how to put this on so we don't have to mess with that later. Or actually, I will just show that later. Never mind. Scratch that. Okay. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get this, it's called the laser arm off, and that's what holds the laser onto the worm motor, which is what moves it back and forth. So you just got to remove this little screw. And again, be careful with it, because if you lose that screw, you're going to be in bad shape later. Alright, I'm going to set that arm aside. Now what we're going to do is, this is on 2 arms. This arm, the one that's only really connected in one little place, does not have to be removed. And I will also tell you one thing, that this one is missing a clamp. This is just an extra drive that I had to kind of test some stuff on. There's usually 4 clamps, one here, 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 and there's usually one here. And it's going to be the same concept, but just remember that this one isn't here on that, so keep that in mind. You're not going to have to remove this bar, you're only going to have to remove this bar. So what you want to do is you're going to take your screwdriver and just remove this first clamp. And like I said, since I don't have that second one, I can't really sit there and unscrew it, but it'd be right here, and so you take this one and unscrew this one as well, and then set those clamps aside. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to kind of take this bar and work it out, kind of. One good way, easier way to do it is get this laser back up. So if you want, simply take this mechanism right here and push it back this way. And as you could kind of hopefully see, the laser pushed up. That way you can kind of slide it down. And now you can just take this little bar and pull it right out. Just like that. I didn't remove the laser ribbon yet. I mean, if you wanted to do that first, that's fine. I just don't usually. But we'll do that next. But just remember, if you're worried about messing up the laser, you can definitely just take that out first. Sometimes these bars are hard to slide out. There we go. Set that aside too. Now, on this laser, there's like a little clip. I wouldn't disconnect the laser ribbon from the PCB board. It's going to make it easier for you to not accidentally switch it around and get it backwards, which is another reason why I don't take it out first, because you kind of have to take it out first. If you're taking it out first, you would almost have to take it off the PCB board. That way you can kind of avoid that. So what you do is you kind of pull this clamp outward towards the laser ribbon, and be careful with the laser ribbon, of course. If you damage it, then you'll need a new one of those as well. But it just works. It's kind of like a lock system. Let's see if I can get a better hold on it here. You just kind of pop it out. Alright, and then that slides right out. Now, I've already desoldered the new laser, but I will show you most of these will have a anti-static solder joint when you buy a new laser, and where that is at is right here, right where the tip of my screwdriver is. It should be actually 3 little solder lines basically, but with that anti-solder joint, it's just going to be one big bubble. So what you want to do is you want to desolder that, but don't just remove all the solder. You just want to get it so that all 3 of those aren't bridged anymore. And as long as those aren't bridged anymore and there's a little bit of solder there, then you'll be good to go. Alright, so let's get this other new laser. And we're just going to do basically the same stuff, just reversed. We'll start off by getting that bar that we just took off, and we're going to go ahead and slide it right back through the new one, like so. Doesn't matter which way it goes, it's just a plain old bar. You will have to slide it back in this one first, because this is kind of closed off, the bracket, and then this one is open. So you want to make sure you get it inside that hole, like that. And there is a stop here, so you can't go too far with it, so don't worry about that. Then we'll just wedge that back. Now, once you've got that in there, you'll want to get this half of the laser and get it on track as well. And then while you're doing that, you also need to kind of be wedging this bar into this side. It's kind of a one motion thing. That way you can avoid taking out this bar. If it's difficult for you to do that in one motion, you can just take this bar out and then put it in separately, but that's just a whole lot of extra work, so I don't really want to do that. And I'm sure most of you want to do this the easiest way as well. Now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put my clamps back on. They do go in there a specific way. You'll kind of will notice that it has little clipped areas on this. So just make sure that it's going back on there the right way, and always remember that the part that angles up is the part that's against the bar. And this can be kind of difficult sometimes to get this in here and get the screw, but as long as you get that clamp in there and then get this screw started, then you'll be good. Alright. Okay, now remember, this one does not have a clamp on this side, so just keep that in mind once again. But you will want to take it and put the new clamp, or not a new clamp necessarily, but take that and screw it in here. The screw hole is right here, and then you'll screw that one back in as well. This one's missing it just because it doesn't technically need it, but it's still not good for it. It's just I didn't really feel like paying $6 for another clamp. Anyways, let's get this laser ribbon back in. Since we left it, it should be pretty simple. You just pop it right back in there, and then push this locking mechanism and push it back in, and there's that. Alright, now we're going to stick the laser arm back on. And with this, you definitely should be very careful. You may feel like this, that if you do this and tighten it up a lot, that it's going to be good for it, but it is definitely not. You just barely want to get it snug. If you over tighten this, then you're going to strip out the laser hole, and you'll either have to super glue this back in, which is temporary at best. Even though it's going to be super glued, it's still temporary because eventually it'll still break off. So more than anything, that would mean you'd have to go and buy another laser. Like I said, you just want to snug that up. Don't over tighten that. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to put this disc tray back in. What you got to do is just got to get it tracked back in there. You can kind of see how it goes. But the main thing is, let me show you this first. Underneath there's a track right here. And there's a little knob that has on this mechanism that has to go in that track. It's this thing right here. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that that is going to go back in the right spot. Otherwise the tray won't catch and the gears won't eject it in and out correctly. First off, I'm going to push this back out just a little bit. Okay. Alright. Well, sorry about that. You do have to have this back all the way. And the track is actually on this side. I showed you that wrong. And the knob is on this side. I'm thinking of the Samsung drives here. So you'll get that started, and then what you do is this little knob is going to slide into this little hole right here. Hopefully you can get a good enough view, but it's right there. And if that knob is over to the left or right, it won't catch correctly. So you just get that in there, kind of work it a little bit, and then there we go. And then it's going back in. Now, to make sure that you have it in the slot correctly, when you close this all the way, go ahead and slam it. And if this pulled back up a little bit, then you know you're right. And if this is locked, you also know you're right. Although I think it can lock on its own anyways, but that's just another sign. Anyways, that's about it besides putting the case back on. So we'll just slap that back on real quick. And that's it. If you enjoyed this tutorial, if it was helpful to you, I'd appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to my YouTube page. I have a lot of repair tutorials for every single gaming console ever made, and a lot of other cool case modding and stuff like that. So yeah, just make sure to like and subscribe, and until next time.